Hi guys, welcome to Hype TV Australia. We are here at the Blue Mountains, which is about 2 hours outside of Sydney. And we have a great show today. So first we're going to go to Sydney Cat Cafe. And then we have a very special guest, Jodelle Ferland. She's a Canadian actress and she's been in some amazing movies such as Tideland and Silent Hill. And then next up we have the Sons of Obi-One Saber Academy. We visit them and have a chat to Luke. So yeah, sit back, relax, and enjoy.
I guess let's talk about this whole idea. How did this idea all come about to start this little cafe?
Well, it started in Chiang Mai with a birthday present for Thomas. Thomas is quite the mixed martial arts buff and he's an amateur fighter, so last year...
As you can see, I'm not anymore.
Well, in the time it was, in October we went to Chiang Mai to go to Thai boxing and MMA facility. Did that for 10 days, and after 4 or 5 days of me getting severely beaten up and him being fine, we decided to see what else Chiang Mai had to offer. And the number one attraction on TripAdvisor at the time was Catmosphere Space Cat Cafe.
Yeah, and I was the one who actually discovered online, and I'd never actually been to a cat cafe before. I'd owned cats my entire life, but I'd never been to one myself, and so the idea seemed a little bit outlandish. I spoke to Wenny about it, and Wenny didn't seem to grasp it any more than I did, but also seemed to fall in love with the idea immediately.
Of course.
Yeah. So we spent about 90 minutes looking for the place because this taxi dropped us off at the other end of this highway, and we just walked up and down this street for 90 minutes. It's the kind of scenario like when you've been standing in a line for 3 hours, and then you think, that's it, I'm going to leave. And you think, no, but then these last 3 hours have been for naught. And so we did the same thing with food. Like, we refused to stop and eat, even though we hadn't eaten for around 7 hours, or have anything to drink until we found Catmosphere. And finally, when it looked like all hope was lost, I just hear Winnie scream, "Oh my God, there it is!" She was sprinting across this 6-lane highway, genuine tears of joy streaming down her face.
Very hungry, I should say.
Yeah, and there it was. Completely different experience to what we have in Sydney. Because no surprise to say that the Thai health regulations are a little more fast and loose. So what it means is you've got the dining area, the cat room, and the kitchen all into one space. So it's primarily floor seating. So you'll be sitting on top of these really comfortable cushions, eating a spaghetti bolognese, which is actually really good. While you have about 3 or 4 cats trying to pilfer a mouthful of bolognese from your bowl, so you try to fend them off. And the experience was just so insane, it was magical. And we developed a rapport with the owner there, Bernard, this Austrian white hat hacker. And it was the kind of thing where we clearly understood each other. He gave us posters, Catmosphere posters for free, which we took as a token of friendship, and he just said, "You guys seem to just get it." And one thing led to another, and he ended up asking us if we'd like to open one in Sydney.
Wow. How many cats do you guys have here? You got a fair few cats.
20 cats.
Cats and different breeds, obviously.
Yes, different breeds, different ages. Not all of them are on display at any given time. We like to rotate a little bit. So say, for example, we found this morning, we opened up, and one of the cats had become a little bit sneezy, I think just from all the excitement. So we just remove her from circulation, give her some alone time. We've got our primary cat room upstairs, and that's where we have people every hour. We've got this cat room downstairs that's kind of like an R&R cat room. And we might feed through a few guests every day. We try and keep the numbers small so the cat's still interacting with people, but they're not overwhelmed by all that human affection.
How's the feedback been so far? You guys have just opened recently, but we get a fair few people come through the door?
Yes, they've been booked out over opening weekends, which is about 160 people coming through the doors. And as a result, we've been very careful with the cats, making sure that there's cat shelves where they can remove themselves. One guy's been permanently removed and just gazing down disdainfully on everybody for pretty much the whole time.
We call it Callisto after the moon, actually, because he just orbits above everyone else. Yes.
So are these all your cats that you've got here, or
actually no? We foster these cats from the World League for Protection of Animals, which is an 80-year-old animal rights and animal welfare group.
Yep.
And they do phenomenal work rescuing stray cats and connecting them with good homes. Mm-hmm. And so we want to be able to promote the work they're doing here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's been a fantastic partnership for us, and also the fact is, I've had cats for most of my life, but I'm no vet, I'm no animal expert, so being able to work with the World League and tap into their knowledge has just made all the difference in ensuring that we can create a comfortable and safe space for cats.
Absolutely. Yeah. You've got a bit of a novelty act thing going on here too, space cats.
That's right.
Where are these cats from? Are they from like some sort of planet? Or?
Oh, they're just from the far-reaching corners of space. So the World League actually found these cats after they landed from their long intergalactic voyage.
We have a Tabitha the Hutt, a feared feline overlord from Castlevania.
Big obese tabby.
Neil Paulstrom.
Buzz Aldrin.
Jeez, I'm loving the puns here.
Off the appeal.
Absolutely. I guess what are the plans now with the cafe being open? Is there plans to expand a little bit, maybe build this place bigger? You've got some plans for the future?
Indeed. Well, we're actually partnered with Chiang Mai to build Catmosphere Global to get into other cities that don't have cat cafes yet, or don't have space cat cafes, which are truly their own spacefaring breed. And so that's something that we're looking into in the years to come. But for now, the focus is on making Sydney as spectacular as it possibly can be, and making it a welcoming place for the cats and the humans alike, but in that order. And getting all those operational aspects down, getting all the safety and welfare aspects down for the cats before we move forward.
Absolutely. So I suppose the health and regulations here it's all fine, it's all good.
It is. We just had to do our research and learn what we could do and what we couldn't do. So, say for example, we can keep animals in the same building as food is being served, but they need to be kept behind a special sealed door.
For sure.
And the animals can't leave that room to enter the food preparation area during operation hours.
Yeah.
And then if we're going to remove them for, say, vet checkups or whatnot, they need to be in special approved animal cases and what have you. So it was just a case of really doing our research. It helps when he has a legal background.
Oh, that's always going to help.
Exactly. So we could delve into the legalese, which was really necessary.
Excellent.
And beyond that, it was just a case of finding precedents where we could. Because we said it's a bit of a novelty. So there's a cat cafe in Melbourne, so we're able to look to them and see what they've done.
Yeah, for sure.
Look to some other countries, other developed countries, and see how they'd apply the concept and how
London, New York,
Yeah.
keeping the cats separate.
Yes,
for sure.
Yes. And then see how much of that would apply to Sydney as well.
Yeah, great stuff. Now, what time are you guys open during the week and on the weekends so people can come down and check it out?
During the week, our cat rooms open at 10 a.m.
Yep.
So the cafe is open every day from 7:30. Cat rooms open at 10 a.m. On the weekends, they open at 8 a.m. Yeah. So give families a chance to get in and see the space cats before the days get too busy.
Awesome, good stuff. All right, guys, this is it. Come down. Catmosphere is a rocking place, man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
No, thank you.
I'm Jodelle Ferland, and you are watching Hype TV Australia. How does it feel being the youngest person to be nominated for an Emmy, a record that has not been beat since? Honestly, it feels really surreal that that actually happened to me, partly because it was so long ago, but also just because it's strange to be able to say that you were nominated for an Emmy at all, let alone when you were 4 years old and you can barely remember it. But I'm still so honored that they chose me, of all people, to be nominated, and it's pretty cool that nobody that young has been nominated since. It's crazy, but I'm really honored. You have worked with some big-name actors and directors in the industry. Have any of these actors or directors given you advice that has helped yourself in your career? I have had the opportunity to work with some amazing people over the years, and I feel so lucky about that. I think when I was a kid, because I've been on film sets since I was a toddler, a lot of the advice that I used to get was pretty similar. The general theme was you know, if it stops being fun, don't do it anymore. Make sure that you always love it. Don't lose yourself in the process of trying to get ahead, and just, you know, be yourself and make sure that you love your job, because it really is hard. I know a lot of people think that it's glamorous, and it can be at times, but most of it is really hard work. And that advice has helped me so much. I did end up taking a break from acting for a while, because if it's not fun, you're not gonna enjoy it at all, because it's one of those jobs that is just so much work that you have to be 100% invested in it, or you really shouldn't be doing it. So for a little while, I think I was 19, I took a little bit of a break for about a year, and when I got back into it, I was so much happier and I was so much more invested in it, and I've been doing it constantly ever since then. It really is a difficult job, and you have to love it, and I absolutely do, and I know that now, and I plan to do it forever. You have mentioned that you are a vegetarian. What made you choose this lifestyle, and how important is nutrition to you? I decided to go vegetarian when I was 13 years old. I actually was only planning on doing it for a month while I was going to do a trial period and see how long I could make it. And when the month was up, I realized it was easy, so I just kept going. I was a super picky eater when I was a kid, and I didn't eat that much meat anyway, so it was actually pretty easy for me to switch over. And nutrition is very important to me, and it always has been. I grew up in a house full of healthy foods. My mom always made sure that we had healthy alternatives to, you know, things like chocolate and sugary cereals. None of that was in the house. We always had the healthy version. And that's definitely stuck with me. For a while, it kind of backfired, because when I first was exposed to junk food, it was like the best thing that I'd ever had, and I just wanted a lot of it. But I've gone back to how I was when I was younger now, and I am very mindful of what I put in my body. I've been trying to eat vegan more often. I still eat dairy and eggs sometimes, but I figure that a little bit of change is better than none at all, so I've been trying to just have more vegan meals. I really care a lot about animals. Anybody who knows me knows I'm a really big animal lover, so that was most of the reason that I decided to go vegetarian in the first place. And now it would just be too weird for me to eat meat. I couldn't do it. It's been too long, and I don't think I could go back to eating it. I also have an Instagram page where I post a lot of my healthy foods. A friend of mine does it with me. It's Big Hearts, Tiny Stomachs, if anybody wants to check out all of the healthy things that I eat. You have worked with Terry Gilliam on Tideland. Are you a fan of his previous works with Monty Python? So when I filmed Tideland, I was 9 years old. I turned 10 during filming, and I did not know who Terry Gilliam was yet. That's happened so many times throughout my career, because I started so young, and I got to work with some really amazing people when I was a kid, but a lot of the time I was too young to appreciate who I was working with, and that was one of those occasions. Terry is incredible and so talented, and I wish that I'd fully appreciated who I was working with at the time, but I definitely do now. He is incredible, and of course I'm a fan of his work. I just didn't realize it 10 years ago. What has been the most challenging role you have portrayed on screen in both TV and film? There have been a lot of roles over the years that have really challenged me in different ways, sometimes emotionally, sometimes physically, if I have to do a lot of stunts or learn a new skill. But I think that one role that really stands out was in a movie called Tall Man, a scary movie that I did with Jessica Biel. My character didn't speak, so for the whole movie, all of my emotions had to be conveyed just through my facial expressions, which was completely the opposite of what I'm used to. I mean, normally most of my time is spent stressing about the words and making sure that I am getting everything right, and sometimes it's hard to act at the same time. So it was kind of nice, but also still very challenging because it's just completely the opposite of what I'm used to doing. But I find that the challenging roles are usually way more satisfying because sometimes I think, oh, I don't know if I can do this. This is too hard. I'm not used to this. Like, I can't learn something new. And then when you do it, it's just so much more satisfying and you feel really proud of yourself. With your most recent trip to Australia for Supernova Brisbane and Adelaide, what was the highlight of your trip, and do you plan on possibly coming back to Australia? I love Australia so much. I did Supernova a few years back, and ever since then I've always wanted to go back because I loved it so much, and I just had such a great experience with the Supernova convention. It's probably my favorite convention. Don't tell the other conventions. They just make it so much fun for the guests, and they kind of make it into a vacation for everybody. They plan all of these trips that are, they're optional, but like they're a lot of fun, so I did almost all of them. We did a chocolate factory tour. We did some wine tastings in Adelaide. I actually got to see Cirque du Soleil, their Avatar show, which was mind-blowing. That was incredible. But I think the highlight for me was getting to hold a koala and hang out with kangaroos. I also got to hold a snake, which was kind of crazy. I just really love animals, so that was my favorite part. And even though I got to do it the first time, I was really looking forward to doing that again. But the entire trip was really incredible, and I am 100% certain that I will be coming back to Australia. I don't know when, but I absolutely will be.
Sons of Obi-One Saber Academy. How long have you been doing this for?
Okay, we've been going for just over 2.5 years now.
Yeah.
I got an inheritance from my mum, and my girlfriend said, what are you going to do with it? And I said, start a business. And she went, excellent. And she said, what? And I said, Saber Academy. And she cried. And we just started. I've got a good team behind me. Chad and the boys all help me out here. And we've been going, and girls.
Oh, excellent.
And we've been going now for, 2.5 years, and what started off as supposed to be a 3-day-a-week training place has turned into a touring company, a lightsaber company, the school, everything, so it's pretty crazy.
Excellent. So how many students do you have here?
We average about 30 to 40 a week at the moment, but it's sort of more than that because we do corporate work and we work with schools and at-risk youth, and there's a lot of sort of different streams in the business.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So with the charity that you're doing for today, tell me more about the charity that you're doing.
Okay, so my daughter was in and out of hospital for nearly 3 years when she was born. She had whooping cough, we had birth problems, all that sort of thing. And she was in Westmead down in Sydney, and we live on the Central Coast, which is about an hour and a half, nearly 2 hours north of Westmead. So Central Coast kids in need pay for accommodation for parents to be able to go down and see their kids when they're in hospital, and they looked after us really well. So every time we have a charity event, I always try and raise some cash for them.
That's excellent, man.
Oh, thank you.
That's fantastic. So let me ask you a question. So what does it take to be a Jedi Master?
Not much. Just come in with an open mind and get ready to learn. You know, this is not about being a Jedi Master. It's about making you a better person. That's what we aim to do. You know, we teach life skills. So we're looking at helping to increase people's self-esteem and show them that they can do something they never thought they could do, and building a sense of community. You know, one of the downsides of being a nerd is, you know, it's a fairly solitary existence, so it's about bringing people together and giving them, you can hear in the background now, there's a bunch of them in there playing Cards Against Humanity, so it's just about bringing people together and letting them really be themselves.
So it's like a family in a way.
Absolutely. You know, like you would have seen today, people came from left, right and centre to come and help us today. You know, it always brings a tear to my eye when I do this, when everyone starts rolling up, and it's a great place, man. I love it.
Yeah. So you've been doing work with like going to Supernova and that. Can you tell me about like going to Supernova?
Yeah, so we launched at Supernova 2 years ago. I'm a huge Supernova fan. Like Sydney this year was my 17th Supernova. So fantastic. I was doing it back when it was 400 fat sweaty dudes at Pier 6 with comic long boxes.
Yeah.
And then as we started going to them, we got to know Daniel and all the guys. Daniel's the owner.
Yep.
And we got to know Daniel, and we've just started working together. And what started off as, you know, us being just another exhibitor, like we work quite closely with them. We worked with them on the Star Wars World Record attempt last year.
Oh, wow. Cool.
We're doing all 6 Supernovas this year, and we travel around with them and do lessons and, you know, give sabers to celebs, and it's good fun, man.
Cool, excellent. So just one final question. What's been your most highlight during your whole experience with working with the Sons of Obi-Wan?
The people, man. Like, we've got an amazing crew here. You know, we're all volunteers. We all come together and just do things, you know, and it's that, and just seeing people grow. Like, a lot of people when they turn up here are really, you know, withdrawn and internal, and watching them sort of start to spread their wings and get out to the point when they start performing and all that. It's just watching people grow. Like, I'm a teacher. I used to be a school teacher before this, and it's the greatest joy of being a teacher is seeing someone become a better version of themselves. So it's not one particular example. It's just seeing the people come in the door from where they are when they come into where they are now. That's the best thing of all. Yeah.
Well, Luke, thank you so much. And you're watching Hype TV Australia. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming up, man. I appreciate it.